All rise. Yeah. And I wish if you can identify any one person as a partner for next 3 minutes. Could be the person who is standing very near to you, and now you can stand face to face with the person. Anybody of your choice. Yeah. Get a partner and stand face to face with the person. I think you can over here. Oh, so you also got the partner. Yeah. And now, I wish all of you, somebody are already, but I wish all of you to take back to your 20s. When you were in the college days, the most beautiful days in the life of a person, the most cherished moments in the life of a person. So I wish all of you to take back to your 20s, reach 20s, the time machine, sure? And now you are that 20-year-old person with a lot of ambitions, aspirations, dreams about career. And remember those days you used to speak about your career and your future aspiration with a lot of colorfulness. Can you remember those days? And now for 1 minute for one person, I wish to share your that time career ambition, that time job ambition with your partner. With the same spirit, same vigor, with the same energy and the same enthusiasm you had during your 20s. So share with your partner your that time dream, ambition, aspiration in the professional domain. And the other person should listen to the other peacefully. Don't make any facial expressions like, oh, you had that much of dream in that time. Not like that, okay? So listen peacefully. For 1 minute. After 60 seconds, I will intervene. And then you can be the listener and the other person can be the person who is sharing with you. Shall we? Ready? So you are in your 20s. You're going to speak about your that time career ambition and share it with 1 minute with all the spirit and enthusiasm. So any one person can begin now for the next 60 seconds. Come on, start. 60 seconds. Anybody, please. 60 seconds. Yeah. I think I will speak with you. Perfect. Yeah. So you are in your 20s. Yes. And share with me. So what was your career dreams during those days?
Okay, I'll have 1 minute.
Yeah.
I want to travel the world. I want to meet as many people as I possibly can. I want to form bonds and friendships, develop a shared understanding.
Achieve that?
Can I achieve it? I would like to, yes.
Okay, great. So that's the time. I will just intervene. Last 10 seconds. Okay, now reverse. The next person. The next 60 seconds. So thank you. Take your seats, please. Yeah. So, during our 20s, I was just trying to take you back to your college days, because during the college days, we all have a lot of colorful dreams, and we all have some callings in mind, and we all want to reach that position. But later on, what happens, once we finish the college, more responsibilities come to us. More challenges come to us, more problems comes to us, and we would be in a position to solve many problems. And many of the people, I just want to ask a question. You don't need to raise your hands or you don't need to give me an answer. How many of you could pursue the career, the dream career you had during your 20s? And how many of you could reach the heights where you really wanted to reach during your 20s? So later on, we start compromising with dreams. We start compromising with passion. We start compromising with a real calling in mind. In vocational psychology, there are 3 terms. The one is job. The job is something we do just as a means of life, to get revenue out of it. Second is career, where we need that means to live, and at the same time we want to grow within career. And the third one is the largest term in vocational psychology, which is a calling, the real passion, the real purpose, a job or an activity where I see the real meaning in what I do. In the fourth industrial revolution, the primary characteristic I see is speed. And if you want to cope up with speed, if you're just taking our students to a job, they cannot, because it's just a material exchange. If you're just taking your students to career, then also they will surely struggle there. But the success of the students or the success of the education system during the fourth industrial revolution will be at a point where the education system is able to connect the purpose, the calling, the meaning, the passion of the student with what they do. Because then they would be having enough moral strength to cope up with any of the changes in this VUCA world, the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. So the first point I want to specific about education is education system should be able to connect the people, meaning, calling, and purpose to work. Rather than making them just employees, it is important to make them achieve a point where they are doing something with a core why in mind. That is what the first point I want to stress, the purpose, the calling. The second point, again I want all of you to rise, please. Yeah. I know there are disturbances when I ask you to rise continuously, but again let me make a point. The second point maybe the fourth industrial revolution want us to do is move from the chairs and do something, rather than just listening, to do something. And now I just want you to go to any person who you don't know. Because once we come to such a conference, we all take tables with people who know very well. We are working together, or we are studying together, or we met the person during the last conference or something like that. So I just want you to go to a new person who you don't know at all and try to exchange a good shake hand, a very broad smile, and if you wish, you can share your emotions through a hug, if you wish, and you can share the most cherished moment in your mind, or the most beautiful moment in your mind with that person. Could you agree with me? Or you just want to sit over there and listen to my speech for next 10 minutes as well? Yeah, it would be great if you can go and meet a person who you don't know. Go and try to meet. And exchange a shake hand, exchange a very broad smile, and if you wish, you can hug, exchange your emotion, and speak about the most cherished moment in your life. So friends, now time up, exchange your love in the most warm way to that person and back to your chairs. In family, in workplace, in society, it is important to get connected with people, exchange our emotions, exchange our love, and also to exchange and follow the intuitions in mind, creativity in mind. Whereas we rely to get connected with human beings, we rely mostly on technology. So for the last 7 years, I have been working in the domain of organization development, where I help companies to frame their strategies to achieve maximum potential. When I talk with companies, so a last meeting I had with a company in Trivandrum, so they were sharing a problem, even for a colleague to invite another person who is just sitting 3 chairs after for coffee, they would only chat in WhatsApp. Don't go to that person and call the person and take him outside. So whereas we are more and more relying upon technology and we are less relying upon the human instinct. So I would say the second point, once you make your students, once we make our young generation follow their passion or follow their calling, the second point is ask them to be maximum human in nature. Maybe the best way to sustain and the best way to overcome the waves of the fourth industrial revolution would be to be maximum human in nature. So we have to go inside ourselves, understand the basic human elements we have, re-evoke it again, and make ourselves more and more and more human without any disturbance, to get connected with people, exchange our love, and follow the intuitions, and also to use the maximum creativity out of that. Because we have to understand, if you try to function more like machines, as Sir was speaking just before, the machines will overcome us, because we are trying to do something like what they are. They have the innate capacity to do. So it is important to understand our innate capacity and follow that. So be maximum human is the second point. And third point, you all have the notebook or the notepad on the table, right? I don't want you to rise again, but take the notepad, take the pencil, and write one thing which you really wanted to do in life. Which you really wanted to do in life, but you didn't take any action even now. You really wanted to do, but you couldn't take an action till today to act it or to implement it. Just write down that thing in your notepad. It can be about starting up a company. It can be about reading some book. It can be about creating a video lecture. It can be about implementing a new strategy in your organization. Something which you really, really wanted to do, but you couldn't take an action till today. Just write it down on the paper. There should be something like that in all of our mind, right? Take 1 minute. You really wanted to do that, but I couldn't take an action till today. It can be something like quitting your current job and starting your own company. It can be something like innovating something new, if there is something. If there is nothing, you can keep the sheet blank. It can even be about taking your children for a vacation. So what I could see in education, mostly because this conference or the pivotal topic of the conference is mostly education also. In education, we speak a lot, we think a lot, we try to write a lot, but we act very less. I think if the colleges or universities can practicalize the beautiful ideas in the mind of students during their early 20s and late teens, we can change the world into the most beautiful place to live. But many times we think about ideas, we discuss about ideas, we write ideas, and we least implement things. The same happens when people come to industry as well. When the changes are happening, whether to take a MOOC course, people know it is important to take, but how many people take it? People know it is important to go to conferences, but how many people go for that? People know it is important to learn the new technologies, but even after understanding this, even if they are sure that they are going to lose the job, they may cry, they may get tense, they may get frustrated, they may even go to a psychological counselor to get counseled on stress management. But the one thing which they don't do is act proactively. So it is important in terms of learning or in terms of changing or in terms of adapting to new technology. In addition to speeches, in addition to thoughts, in addition to ambitions, it is important to implement things or act things. So we all have a lot of things in mind, the ideas in mind, but how many of us are implementing the ideas within ourselves? So my dear friends, I am not a technologist, but I just want to see, because I work in a company, lifeology.com, whereas we are developing a new science and philosophy for the new world as a study, which is studying more about human beings in relationship with their career and occupational ecosystem. So we are trying to develop it as a new branch of the vocational psychology, and we are located in Trivandrum. So in our research, in our studies, in our understanding, we could find three things are very important. Number one, it is important to lead students to a career where they can really see their calling, passion, or their purpose over there. Second, once they are there, promote them to be maximum human in nature and overcome the power of technology with their human instinct. And for that, it is important to act, implement, than just think and write and learn. It is important to implement. So we have to move forward. And the first step towards moving forward is to decide that you are not going to stand where you are now. So let us take a decision collectively that we are not going to stand where we are now, and we move forward towards our calling, towards our passion. There we will be more humans, and we will start implementing every ideas in mind. Thank you very much.